we're live now. I wanted to come today and talk to John Hervey about Black Tiger Hidden Dragon.
Woo!
How's it going?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted to get you on to talk about this. This has been an awesome project to watch.
Oh man, this has been a fun ride so far. I'm really grateful. People have been receiving it pretty well and got off to a good fast start, which is always a nice thing. Kind of alleviates some of the pressure.
Right.
And now just trying to share the goodness, of the project and just continue to hopefully just continue to grow.
What got you into wanting to make a comic?
Oh man, I mean I'm going to reveal what an old dog I am. I've always loved comics. So growing up, comics weren't there wasn't any kind of specialty shops back then. So it's like you get comics at the drugstore. So it's like I go to the drugstore with my mom, and they'd have a spinner rack.
Yeah.
So one spinner rack full of comics, and it's like at the time, I knew the heroes that were part of the Super Friends. So I knew Superman, I knew Wonder Woman, I knew Batman. Marvel had these old cartoons that they used to rerun of Captain America and Thor and Iron Man, and they were animatic type cartoons, but they're cartoons nonetheless. But they were literally right off the page of the comic books. So for me, I was like, okay, those are cool cartoons. Here's some comic books, and it seemed like just kind of a natural progression. So you got these books on the spinner racks. One spinner rack is how it started, and then the collection doubled at the when they had a second spinner rack at the drugstore. It was like, oh my goodness, look at all these comics. This is amazing. All these comic books to choose from, so would pick up comics, would go there, whenever my mom said she was going to the drugstore, I'm going. And then one day, I was at the spinner rack and I looked and I saw a book, and I should really know by now. I want to say it's Avengers 182. And there was this awesome cover, had a giant Crusher Creel. He was holding up it ended up being the first appearance of Miss Marvel.
Oh wow.
And I love Miss Marvel. I don't love what they've done with her, but I love Miss Marvel. So he's holding her up like King Kong. Iron Man's shooting repulsor rays at him, and there are characters there that I didn't fully know, like the Beast was a part of the Avengers in this issue, and the Vision, who I didn't fully know who the Vision was, but he looked really cool. And I bought the book. It was by an artist named John Byrne, who's subsequently become one of my favorite artists of all time. And Dave Michelini is the guy that wrote the book, and I was absolutely in love, absolutely enthralled, with the comic. And I read it a number of times, and I told my mom, I am now a comic book collector. And I had the comic book at the dinner table. My mom's like, well, that's good, baby. Just, put away your comic and finish your greens. I'm like, I just made, mom. Yeah, I'm like, I just made this huge profession, and she's just kind of like, okay, just.
You had that spark ignite, huh?
Yeah, and the spark's still there, many, 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 many years later.
Just something you can't extinguish, right? It's just something that doesn't go away.
Let me tell you, it does not go away, and it's it's not something, it's just a part of me, it's not something, I'm too old to outgrow it at this point. If I haven't outgrown it by now, I'm not going to outgrow it. So, and I don't want to, I love the medium. It's funny. It's kind of gone full circle for me. I think comics started off as my favorite medium, and then kind of as TV shows and movies started to come out. Wow. The opportunity to see my favorite comic book characters in shows and in movies. I was like, this is amazing. And it is amazing. But I think I've kind of gone full circle. We've had, so many kind of big budget opportunities to see comic book characters. And the thing that you realize about the medium of comics is like, you just have your page rate and your imagination, so you can go anywhere. And in order to match that, they need to have these humongous budgets, because you can go anywhere at any time in a comic. And you can't beat that with a bat, and it's like comic book creators need to make comics for the sake of making comics and take full advantage of the medium. It's like we are unconstrained in the things that we can do in a comic book, without blowing out the budget.
Right.
And, I've kind of come full circle with that. So I've come to really, really appreciate and love comics, and this whole indie comic movement, this whole renaissance has been amazing for me as well. Just being able to, enjoy the process of creating again. I was first published in the 90s through Motown's Machine Works, which was a comic book company and animation studio that was set up by Michael Davis, who was one of the Milestone founders. And that was the first time I got to be, kind of long story short, first time I was published. And, kind of since then, I've really watched how the industry has changed. The industry really shrank. We're kind of talking from, the bubble days, and the industry has really kind of been shrinking. And, really with Diamond, there was really kind of a duopoly almost kind of set in place with Diamond. You have Diamond as the distributor, but you have DC and Marvel, and you figure when the next biggest player is less than 10%, whether you're looking at Image or Dark Horse, I mean, you've really got two big players. And you go into specialty shops, and they were putting between them, they were putting 150 different books a month on shelves. There's no space,
right?
For other things on the shelf. And it went from being a very diverse market, because there was always Marvel and DC, but there were other imprints, and there were other cool indie books. And I never really thought of them as indie, so to speak, until kind of Marvel and DC just kind of took over the whole market, and everything else is indie. So now we come to a time where distribution is different. We have the, ability to distribute through, Indiegogo, through Kickstarter, online, through the web. And it's just opened up the world, in a way that I could have never imagined when I first got into comics.
So what made you want to do Black Tiger Hidden Dragon? What was the driving force to say, hey, this is the story that I'm going to put out?
Well, like a lot of people that have been in the comic book industry or had comic book dreams, I made a number of project pitches and things of that nature. And the story actually started off as a pitch to one of the big two. But then as I kind of developed it, I was like, man, this is something that I would really kind of love to keep close to the vest and be able to, publish for myself. So, kind of once I came to that realization, then I was like, okay, well, I've been in a comic book production house before, but, I was a gopher, I was an assistant editor, I was an editor, I was a writer, but I wasn't anyone that was managing the process. So now, I knew all the elements for production, but had to manage them because, as much as I love to write and enjoy that process, I am not, if I penciled a book, no one would buy it. If I inked a book, no one would buy it. So you have to kind of get in where you fit in, with the whole process. So I knew I needed to have amazing people kind of come alongside me. And, with Black Tiger, and it's been like 17 years plus maybe, I'm was able to. I met Rod Looper through a site called Digital Webbing.
Who is
And
that? What's up, Rod?
yes, sir. So I mean, Digital Webbing was it was a forum. And I liken it to almost like it was like speed dating. You try to find some folks. Hey, I've got a project. Would you be interested in working on my project? Kind of yada yada. You're trying to sell somebody on your project, and you just don't know. It's kind of going out into the ether. It's not like being able to go to a site and say like, okay, well, I like that person's artwork, in particular. And some people put samples on there, but it wasn't like social media is today. So it was kind of serendipitous, but it was also, I really think, meant to be. It ended up that Rod and I, connected, and we just really kind of formed a brotherhood. I mean, we've gone from, working together to really, because when you work together for so long, I mean, you develop a real friendship and a real bond. And we've always been very, very honest with each other. And I think that's what's enabled us to have success. I like to, fully script out things, and I give them to Rod, and not so much that I'm trying to tell him that it's my way or the highway, but just to give him a vision of what I'm looking to do. And then from there, he's able to be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or, yeah, no, that sucks. Or I see where you're trying to go. Maybe there's a better way we can get there. And then we can kind of really collaborate. So that's always been our process, a very highly collaborative process. And, kind of we both step away from the process, happy with the product. And to me, that's kind of the marker of, did we get where we're supposed to get to?
Right.
Are we both being honest about it? Have we, and there's, we've had to edit, correct, redo, you name it. Things like sometimes, some parts you think are going to turn out really well, and then you work to execute them, and you're like, that didn't kind of work out the way I thought it would.
Right.
And that's kind of the creative process.
That's awesome, man. It's awesome that you can create something with someone that you've created a bond with as well, because there's gonna be honesty there too, right? Like there's that honesty factor between each other. It's not just gonna be like, patting each other on the back and being like, yeah, that's great. It's gonna be like, no, that doesn't work for that.
But it's out of love though, because he loves the project, I love the project. We want to make the best project that we can. So it's not just like, oh man, this is whack, this sucks, you're trash. It's more of like look, we're trying to put the best product that we can forward. So it means we're going to be honest with each other. We want to be honest with each other up front, and then get the book out that we want to get out, instead of being like, pat each other on the back and the book goes out and subsequently, there are things we really should have done differently. It's too late for that.
Right on.
Once the book is printed and out in people's hands, it's too late for that.
Before we go any further, I'm going to say hi to this chat over here that keeps rolling up on me.
Cool.
Bell Rider was in the chat earlier. What's up, Bell Rider? There's Woodrow. What's up, Woodrow? Eric calling me out on being late. Yeah, it's my fault. It's a female thing. Johnny Cage, what's up? Oliver from the 656. You know the 656 guys?
I know Oliver. Yeah, man, they've got Cryptinos.
Yeah, they're doing awesome over there, man.
Yeah, they're kicking a lot of butt.
And there's What About? What's up, What About?
What up? What about?
Anthony, what's up, man?
That's right.
Bone. His profile picture always trips me up. Little cat named Bone.
Yeah.
Sounds like a comic in the making, doesn't it?
Yeah, except for there's already been a Bone.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Bone is good.
Yeah, I love Bone.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, Captain.
Oh, what? Oh, gotcha.
Grimaces.
Captain. You call him Captain.
Yeah.
Through me.
Yeah. From the comic ship that we do on Mondays.
And it's Grimaces. And one
Mhm.
Corey Barton.
What's up, Corey?
Slipstick. What's up, Slipstick?
What a name. Slipstick.
So, do you care if I play the trailer?
Oh, let's do it.
All right, let's play this trailer and then we'll talk about it some more and like tell people go back it. Go back it.
Go back in.
Okay. Let me get over here to it.
Take the time. I may even do a little.
Tiger. Tiger.
I should probably
Wow.
change that from coming soon to it's here.
Do what?
I should probably change at the end it says coming soon. It's here. It has arrived. The tiger's in the house.
Hell yeah.
So
Hold on.
yeah, I just wanted to keep it kind of short and sweet with the promo video. You get to see a lot of action. It's, along with the kind of thread that runs through it, you get to see tons of different fighting styles. And, kind of when we scroll through the project, I'll show you, it's like different types of martial arts that are being, kind of performed throughout this book. But just for kind of like an overview for those, this is volume 1 of Black Tiger Hidden Dragon, but this is not the first installment of Black Tiger. The first installment of Black Tiger was Black Tiger Legacy of Fury, and that is 172 pages of Fury. And this is by my man, the amazing madman Rod Looper, who stuck with me to get this whole story arc delivered to you. So there is a Catch Me Up where you can get Legacy of Fury. And then this story arc, which is Hidden Dragon, it picks up where Legacy of Fury left off. And Jen Fong, she's now established as the Black Tiger. She's an assistant district attorney by day, and she's the Black Tiger by night. But she is finding internal conflict because she was never one that was a proponent of vigilantism. In fact, she was against it, prior to acquiring the power of the Black Tiger with the passing of her father. She'd always kind of looked at the law in a kind of very black and white fashion. So she's trying to come to grips with this dual life that she's now leading. She's also seeking to find out who killed her father, who was one of the prior Black Tigers, and also who posthumously was defamed as a cop. So he was killed and defamed as a Black Tiger, but he was also disgraced as a cop. And so there's definitely a plot afoot, and she needs to figure it out as these same forces come to bear upon her. And moreover, she needs to figure out what it means to be the Black Tiger. She was never trained. So she is discovering, and we're going on that odyssey with her, as she's discovering the power of the Black Tiger. And this image you have here, man, I love this image. This is a cover. So the pencils were by the man, the myth, Rod Super Looper. And the colors are by Artesita. And Man, this is the Looper cover. So for those of you that get either a Looper print or Looper cover, this is what you're going to get. And in another $400, and we reach 5K, this becomes a wraparound cover.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yes. So you will get to see basically the same moment in time, but from behind. And you get to see that she is facing 5 deadly foes that are called the 5 Fingers of Death. So it's a fun, kind of cool wraparound cover idea. We're getting close to there. So if you like the idea of wraparound covers, help us get there with another $400. And if you back the Looper cover, you're going to get the wraparound cover. But there's other cool. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like this right here, like sold this book for me. Like I saw you on Chris Evans, I think first.
Yeah.
Actually, I had backed Magna, and I didn't realize that you were also doing the Black Tiger Hidden Dragon as well.
Ah.
And so when I finally put 2 and 2 together, I was like, oh my God, I've got to get this. And so like he was showing this piece right here.
Yes.
And I was like, this sells it for me, right? Like hot chick, leg in the like air, kicking somebody in the face. Like I'm all about this. But then I saw this piece and I was like, holy Nikes, Batman. I need this in my life.
I need this in my life.
So it was just like, it's beautiful. Like the way he draws the woman, like the woman, and then with the dragon, just the fierceness of it. And it's like,
yeah,
the color brings it out. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this is like magnificent.
And the purples for the dragon, it's almost mesmerizing. Just the color palette that he used. We were expecting kind of a bright red, kind of like what's utilized in the book, but his utilization of the purple is just phenomenal.
That dragon just looks so mean.
I know. That dragon looks just like exceedingly fierce. You're just like, oh my gosh.
But like, if you look at her face, like that fierceness is coming out of her face too. So it's like,
yeah. And this, just the intensity of this picture, and just kind of the color and just, it just really kind of comes to life. And when I looked at this and just the literal electricity and the power that's going on in the background, I was just like, oh my goodness,
Yeah. Like he did himself well with this one. I gotta say, he did Black Tiger Hidden Dragon well with this one.
I agree. And I'm like, I can't argue with any of the art that's been done in this book, and I definitely don't want to take away from either of the other covers because they're amazing. This cover is just woo. And then of course there's this cover, which is, it's legs top to bottom. She's doing, just a standing split kick. She's giving Onryu, the business right there in the jaw, and she's getting the fish hooks from Svetlana. Just a lot of good fighting action. So you can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that cover either.
She's got those muscle thighs too, man. Like he got the muscle like definition in there really well.
Oh yeah. This is not a kick that you want to be on the wrong end of.
Right.
That's
one of those break your neck type of kicks.
Yeah, it is. Onryu is going to be counting her teeth after that. That is just not how you want to take that kick, like right in the face.
So this is what made me want to buy it, but then like I knew I'd made a great decision when I saw the dragon.
You're like, I did good. And we get into the interior art, and you will not be disappointed. So these first couple of pages, like I told you, there's a lot of different martial arts action. So while we have kind of the red thread of the story, she's trying to discover who killed her father. Here she's in the jungles of Brazil. And she's battling some nomads there, and then she ends up battling a master of capoeira. And, his style is a style the likes of which she's never seen before. And she has a lot of problems, battling him. and his form of martial arts. And that's just the fun of it. It's just like in Kung Fu movies, it's like Kung Fu versus karate and, different styles versus a boxer. So one of the things we just wanted to take full advantage of and have fun with in this story is different styles of martial arts. So she gets to battle this master of capoeira, and she's used to kicking people in the teeth. You can tell in this image she's frustrated. She's like, this is what I do. I kick people in the teeth. And he's doing his capoeira, which is very much the roots for breakdancing. He's kind of using those moves, to avoid her and, to eventually kind of, repel some of her attacks. So using references, Kung Fu, capoeira, karate, boxing, implementing those, but also choreographing it, so that it's fun. These are fun fight scenes, just like bringing a martial arts movie to life on the page.
Well, this panel right here, it looks like she's like, I'm going to drop it low and I'm going to kick it high.
There you go. And that's how she usually kicks people's teeth in, but he dodges that, And that's one of the things that I love working with Rod too, because as someone who grew up watching a lot of Kung Fu theater, I love the choreography in fights. And I love the choreography when comic books have choreography in their fight scenes, and you can follow the flow of the fights. I love that. So we try.
It really is almost like a graceful fight, right? Like it's like a graceful dance that they're doing to like kick each other's ass.
And that's exactly what it is. And that's Hong Kong movie fighting. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a dance. It's a dance. But, instead of, dancing with your partner, you're trying to roll your partner up. But it's a dance. And that's how we try to deliver the fights. So they're fun, they're cinematic, but they're impactful. You don't want to be on the wrong side of either of these kicks.
Right, definitely. Like I'm more into like boxing. I watch a lot of Kung Fu and a lot of like martial arts movies. And like when I first got married, my husband was all into that. So we spend a lot of time watching stuff like that, but I'm really into boxing. I grew up on boxing.
Nice.
And so like I love fighting, and like a good fight scene, there's nothing better than a really good fight scene. And like if the character can like pull it off in a graceful way, it just makes the whole story.
I agree. And you'll be glad there's also a pugilist in here. So we've got we represent the boxing form as well as a number of other forms. And here you got Black Tiger back in her element, back in the city. And here she's actually battling the Organizacja, which is actually ex-KGB Bionic Russians. So you notice the woman in the purple, Svetlana, she is actually holding that crate up on her shoulder. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So you get to see there's a lot of different elements at play in the city, and a lot of different organizations that are vying for power in the city. And this next one is cool because you also get kind of a mix up and a mashup. So here the Bionic Russians, they end up battling 5 deadly killers called the Five Fingers of Death. And the Five Fingers of Death, they consist of Agbu Madu, who's this African wrestler. To his left is Escrimador, who's a Filipino stick fighter and the leader of the group. To the right of Agbu Madu is the pugilist, who's a British boxer. And you have the shinobi jumping down kind of from the top left, and then deeper in there, kind of with the Raiden hat, is the Touch of Death. So very 36 Chambers type of character. And they, you get to enjoy a nice battle between the Bionic Russians and the Five Fingers of Death. And you get to see the power play that the folks that the Five Fingers of Death are reporting to, and that I don't want to reveal that because it's a big part of kind of the reveal in the story. You get to see the power play here and how different groups kind of find themselves under the foot of other groups.
like I love like the mashup of all the different cultures there. Like it's beautiful. It's like it comes together perfectly.
Well, at the end of the day, the Five Fingers of Death, they are the deadliest people from around the world.
Right.
So, their mission, when they're on the scene, stuff's getting wrecked. That's it. People are getting whooped, stuff's getting wrecked. That's what they do. And they deliver messages. And this next one is an ode to kind of Jackie Chan. You notice she's in her civvies, Black Tiger, but she's, deflects a knife that's thrown at kind of the guy she's trying to protect. She uses a stapler to do that. And then the guy's in a chair with wheels. So she's kind of pushing the chair, kicking the chair out of the way, tripping the assassin. So it's very much kind of a Jackie Chan-ish kind of a fight. So that was a ode to Jackie, because I love the work he's done over the years as well.
Now this is a really just beautiful piece of this dragon.
Oh man, this is vintage Rod, because we conceptualize things, but then Rod, he goes all the way. This dragon manifests in the middle of the mall, and you can see everything. You can see just how literally the dragon manifested, and there's stuff on him that's falling off. You see the destruction to the second level of the mall. You see the mayhem. You see the people running. You see the people hanging off the edges. You see the reactions, and just the level of detail that he takes. I hang out on this page, because there's so many things going on this page. From the people that are on the dragon, tables, chairs, the people that are taking off, people that are paralyzed with fear. It's one of those things where Rod really strives to make every page a masterpiece. And I love that.
Yeah, he does really well with like perspective on this, because like you can just see how massive this dragon is, and like the people are they're going crazy trying to get away from it.
Yeah. And this is the third cover option by Valerio Giangiordano. I think he's actually doing covers now for like Savage Avengers. But he's a good dude, and I really like all these artists. They're different, and he brought a completely different perspective. Here, Black Tiger's on the wrong end of the kick. And I just love kind of the almost photorealistic style that he used here, but it's all drawn, digitally colored, and just kind of, using a background, using kind of photorealism for the background and kind of tweaking it. So I thought, I really loved his perspective as well, and the cover that he created for this.
It's a really awesome. Like I like the action sequence that he does there, and like just like the use of like the blurred line on the foot to show that she's kicking her in the face, and then like I can't miss the boobs. Sorry, like the boob shot is just spot on.
It's right there, Yeah,
it's right there in your face.
It's right there.
And what is this?
So for the Catch Me Up, this is Legacy of Fury. So for those that did not get Legacy of Fury, I wanted you to see the quality of the storytelling that is inside Legacy of Fury. Because you can pick up Hidden Dragon and you can run with it, but it's a much richer experience if you have kind of the foundation that's laid in Legacy of Fury. So with Legacy of Fury, it's basically 6 issues that Rod and I made over the course of years, and we did some remastering that make up this book. So that's why there are 6 existing Greg Horn covers. This was the first cover, that Greg put together. And when Greg put the covers together, it was really cool because he had the scripting, so he knew what was going to happen in the story. And he was telling me that, like, a lot of the times when I'm doing covers, I have no idea what's going on in the story, so I'm just doing something kind of generic. But he knew what was going on in the story, so for each of the covers that he made, it was either a pivotal point in the story or something that was representative of what was happening in the story. So I really love that. I mean, the covers are, they're dynamic and they're awesome, but they're also very reflective of what you're going to get, kind of in the story. So it's almost like the covers are like, for each of the 6 covers, it's almost like kind of the, for each of the 6 chapters, each of the 6 issues. So yeah, I mean, with regards to this book, The Catch Me Up, you won't be disappointed. It lays the whole foundation for Black Tiger. It honestly lays the foundation for the Beyond Time universe. It's a complete story arc, and that's one of the reasons Rod and I released it this way, is because we wanted folks to have a full story arc. I mean, you get all the beats, you get all the elements. And I know one of the things that can be challenging sometimes with crowdfunding is, we get these awesome books, and you read it and you're like, man, I didn't get past the intro here. I didn't really get to see any of the stuff that I really wanted to see, and now I got to wait, till next year or something, to get a little bit further down into the story. So we wanted to provide a full story arc for folks so they can enjoy it. They can get a flavor for the kind of storytelling that we want to do and hopefully get on board.
Right on, right on. I can dig that. I know I had missed the first one, so when I backed, I got both. I did the catch up because I wanted both.
Very
now,
cool.
Who all is your team on this? I know you got Rod.
Yeah, so Rod, pencils and inks. We have, in terms of color, we have Vinicius Townsend, who does the majority of the color. And on this book, though, we had a number of different colors. So we had some of the inks by a gentleman named Arnie Starr, and colors by Robert Hawkins and Vinicius. Because this one was a project that it started off as issues that we had self-published through Diamond. And that's a whole story in and of itself, working with Diamond. So that was back in the day, and very much a learning experience. But needless to say, as a small independent publisher, there is no business model that works, kind of working with Diamond. So we published 4 issues. What we did was we continued to produce the comic throughout time, even though we knew we weren't going to go down that path. So I think it was almost, I don't know if, it was almost kind of, we were just walking by faith that we were going to have the opportunity to distribute this at some point in a way that made sense. And it was really kind of cool because there were elements of the story that we didn't have in those first 4 issues, that we wanted. So we completed the story arc with 6 issues, and we added a good number of pages. So like the first issue started off as 22 pages, but then like the first issue ended up being 32 pages. And that's pretty much what we did with all the issues, is we kind of added the elements that were important to the story that we weren't really able to add when we were originally doing the production to distribute it through Diamond. And we give, this is the full Monty. I don't need to give any caveats. I don't need to, just read the story. It's everything we want to be in there is in there. And
Exactly.
And that's kind of our intention going forward with Hidden Dragon as well. We want to make sure we're telling the story in its entirety, and don't want to have to go back and say like, well, we wish we had done X, Y, and Z. We're doing the things that we want to do in the book, and we think we're delivering a fun book in the process.
I think you are. Like it looks fun. It's beautiful. The artwork in it is absolutely gorgeous. The colors just make the art even better.
Yeah.
So I think you really got something with this, and like I'm really looking forward to it, man. Like I'm not gonna sit here and like yank your chain on it. Like I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be something good. And like I said, I got Magna before, and I really enjoyed Magna.
Awesome.
So like I expect the same quality or more, from this one. So
that's what Rod and I say. We're having to step our own game up, which is awesome. So like the production for these 88 pages is completed. So all pencils, inks, colors for Hidden Dragon. It's completed. So once we complete this campaign, just like we did with Magna, we'll complete the campaign, we'll fulfill the campaign, then we'll shut her down, and we'll open up the next campaign. And our intention is just to keep rolling, and we're just working to stay ahead in terms of the production, so that as we get to the end of campaigns, even before campaigns launch, the majority, if not all, of the production is complete, and that way we can turn the books in a faster fashion.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm so looking forward to this. How did you meet your other two artists on your other two covers?
So I met both of them actually via DeviantArt a number of years back. So they were making doing some pinups and some sequential art that I liked. So I pinged them, and that's one of the great things I think just about kind of what's going on now, even more than ever now. It's anyone can be the employer of any artist.
Right.
Whereas before there was definitely kind of a chasm, a divide, where it's like you got your fans, you got your creators, and then kind of this big chasm, I guess, was Diamond or whatever. It's like, how do you get from here to there? Thanks, Frog G. Frog G's amazing.
Oh yeah, Frog G is awesome.
There's a lot of amazing people. Eric, Emac, there's a lot of amazing people that are in here.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of fans over here that are just ready for this.
Oh man, I can't tell you. Once this campaign is done, we are getting this book in your hands. Once the campaign is done, we're going to print, and we've gotten better with kind of our print processes, get the printing done, and get the books out. So we are looking forward to getting the books into your hands. Everyone has a strategy, and I don't, by any stretch of the imagination, I understand people that are using the campaign to fund a book, because it is not cheap to make a book.
Right.
We put a $500 campaign goal on here, but that's because the production is already paid for. So regardless, people are going to get their books. Kind of what the campaign tells us is, are we going to continue?
Hold on, I want to stop you right there. Mm-hmm. I just want to say that John does deliver, okay? Y'all, he delivers, and he delivers on time, and he's very professional. So you have no worry there when it comes to John Hervey and Beyond Time. They do deliver.
I appreciate that.
And they deliver in good packaging as well. I just want to say,
that's my wife.
So
she does an amazing job of making sure that everything is packaged well, and she's very conscientious about making sure, because at the end of the day, last thing you want to do is and the mail, they're so rough with everything. They don't care.
No, it arrived in very pristine, just I was very just happy with Magna when I got it. So I am someone who has backed John before and can sit here and say that he does deliver, and he's very professional. He does care about his customers. I'm gonna say, go get this book. Go get it. I
appreciate that.
Watch for what John's doing in the future as well, because I promise you, we're still going to be amazed by him. I can just feel it. I can feel it.
I appreciate that. I'm just a comic book nerd that loves making comics, and I've just been blessed to work with awesome people. And then this community is it's amazing. It's like a godsend. There isn't a more supportive community out there, and to me, that's what's making this engine run. It's like the whole ecosystem is so different. People that have shows are super important. People that share tweets and messages, they're super important. Everybody is an important component, because you kind of take one of those components away, then the campaigns don't move, and the ability to put out future campaigns, it disappears.
See, there's someone else who's gotten Magna who says,
Wolvo, what's up, buddy?
That they'll vouch for you as well.
Thanks, Wolvo. Appreciate that, man.
And that's one of the things with like community like ours, right? Like it's all word of mouth, and like what we're doing right now, sitting here talking, and like you have people that have backed you in the past that knows that you do deliver a good quality product. So like we can sit here and say, hey, yeah, you should go back this. Uh-oh. Looks like he dropped out. Hopefully he'll come back. There he is.
I was like, oh, Lola's frozen. Wait, no, that's me.
I know. Like you froze up on my screen, and I was like, oh crap, my internet's gone out. Like, because it's storming here, so I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it was storming out here before, but yeah, the weather's been kind of crappy.
But no, like that's one of the good things I was saying though, is that you have people that will say, hey, yeah, we know this guy, he does good work. Like, come back his product.
I think at the end of the day, I mean, you know, there's you know, all people are saying all these platitudes, and they're saying all this junk about, you know, this is what people, you know, this is what you need to give people, this is what people want. You know, at the end of the day, people will show you and tell you what they want by what they purchase.
Exactly.
You know, and at the end of the day, my accountability is to people that are interested in the properties and back them. Because at the point when people stop backing, this train stops.
Right.
You know, and there is no third party. There is no diamond that kind of sits in the middle and says like, well, let me sell to the shops, and then it's on the shops to get the books out the door. No, this is going directly to folks. So if people are like, hey, this is good, I'll continue to follow, I'll continue to purchase, then the train keeps moving. But at the moment, any of us as creators forget that. You know, at the moment, any of us creators forget that, you know, without people that actually care about the projects, without people that are backing them, that we're done. You know, and I have full belief we're not going to forget that, because, I mean, we're all one and the same. I mean, it's like we're backers, we're people that are following, you know, we're people that are, you know, backing and creating books. And I think that's the thing that if you ask me what has the mainstream comic book industry missed for decades, and maybe decades is maybe too long, but has missed for a while, is actually the love. Creators loving what they're making.
Right.
You know? And at the end of that's what we're getting here. We're getting creators that are loving what they're making. They're trying to make everything that they make their opus. You know, they're trying to make it the best of their ability. And that's what I want. I want somebody that cares about what they're making. And I want somebody that, you know, if I'm more invested in a story than the people that are making the story, if I care more about, and that's when I stopped kind of my other, you know, kind of collecting the other books. I was just like, look, I care about this stuff more than they do. That's ridiculous. You know? If I care more about Spider-Man than Marvel does, then I don't need to purchase that anymore.
That's a lot of what we're seeing across all mediums right now, right? Like movies and even in music right now. Like there's no creativity. It's all just like either a redo, or they want to rehash, or they want to like, you know, just remake.
Oh, man.
And it's, you know, they want to remake it with like a different gender, you know?
Yeah, that's creativity now.
But that's not creative. Like that's just
change somebody's ethnicity, change somebody's gender, you know. And now you have a million iterations of what you can do, because, you know, supposedly there are hundreds of genders. So, you know.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole today. I might tonight.
I'm sorry, you know what?
Midnight, but we're not going to go to that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm like, goodness gracious. You know, how did we get here?
That is a good question, but we're countering it, right? We have now become the counterculture, because we're saying, you know, F you to the mainstream, and we're doing our own thing over here. We're making our own thing.
And the funny thing about it is, these books are better.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it was one of those things at first where it's like, oh, well, these folks are making books, but they're not to the quality of the big two. These books are better. These books are fire. I mean, I've gotten, it's been like Christmas over here. I don't know. It's like all of a sudden, a whole bunch of books are like being delivered. So I've gotten like something different every day. Tell you, these books are fire. I just got my Alterna package. I got Captain Love. I got, what I got? I got Star Blades. I got all kinds of stuff. And this is all the stuff that I just got. And I'm just like, I'm looking at these books and I'm like, I really don't have much impetus. Not that I don't want to go to the shop, but last time I went to a shop that was near me, I didn't get anything. You know, and I wanted to get something. I went in with the intention of getting something, but there was nothing. This particular shop had nothing but Big Two. And I was just like, you know, I went there to get something. I was like, I want to pick up a book. I want to get something. And I left empty-handed. I was like, dude, I came here to buy something. You've got nothing here for me.
I've been there the last few times I went into a shop. I actually went on vacation like a couple of months back. I went to see a friend on my own. And so one of the rules is when I go on vacation, I have to go to comic shops, right? Like that's what my husband will ask me to do is go visit the comic shops for him. And so I went in the comic shop and like there was just absolutely nothing of value there. Like it was all just like crappy art, or the storyline was not catching, or I was like, this is just crap. It's just crap. It's all crap. I was like, I want to go back to my CG books.
Seriously. But the great thing is, you know, people are creating, and just I guess my appeal to anyone that has that idea, that's looking to make that book, you know, in the many years that I've been involved in comics, there's never been a better time to be an independent creator. Never. You know, I mean, This is the time to tell your story. You know, this is the time to, you know, to get your book out there and just to press into the community, because we're all sharing. You know, we're all sharing stuff. We're all backing stuff. You know, it tickles my wife because she's just like, you know, I got to a point where I really stopped buying comics. And like with this whole renaissance, you know, she's like, wow. She's like, you are back into comics with like both feet, you know, and it's cool. I'm enjoying it. You know, I'm loving it. You know, being part of the community, you know, being able to, and the thing is, this is all part of being part of the community. You know, it's not just the books, but it's, you know, being able to see people, meet people, you know, be on shows and then be in the chats of other people's shows. It's, I mean, I could have never imagined it would be this fun.
Well, like everybody has a place here, right? Like everybody has something they can do, whether it's create or, you know, help promote, you know, like even if you can't back a project, you can always go out there and like put it out there so other people see it and know about it and hear about it. And like, you know, you can always start up your own YouTube and start promoting people too. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
no stretch.
Like we all have something in this community that we can do to come together. You know, they say it takes a village, right? It takes a village. So like this village that's coming together, we're making things happen here.
Yeah, we really are. And it's real. You know, as much as people wish it wasn't real, it's real. And, you know, our kind of duty right now is just to be good stewards of it. You know, it's outgrown. Well, thanks, Culture Casino. Appreciate that. You know,
Culture's liking the shirts. He's digging the shirts.
Yeah.
What's up, Culture? Thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, and just being good stewards of what we have here, and you know, realizing that really it's grown to a place where really the only folks that can tear it down is us. You know, if we allow this to be undone, it's because it happened from the inside. You know, it's too big now for the outside to do anything about it. So
we are our own worst enemies, right? Like we're our own worst critics.
Sometimes we are.
Yeah, and that's why we need each other, right? We need each other to lift each other up and to promote and to like to back, support, you know.
Yeah.
Do all the important stuff to get the word out there.
Get the word out, you know.
So
I mean, these shirts, they're priced at $40 flat. So if you're domestic, that includes shipping. Shay did an amazing job taking art from the book and really designing these 3 different shirts. So you have a tiger shirt, a dragon shirt, and then a tiger versus dragon shirt. There's also some really cool, kind of Chinese characters for tiger and dragon, and then you have like the tiger versus dragon, kind of like the
kanji
Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla, kind of a thing. So I love that. And then you have the cool sleeves with the Beyond Time logo on. I really like the black sleeves, by the way. And these are just dope shirts. I really love, because like for me, like I'm always focused on kind of the books, and then when it comes to like the merch, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't want to just throw a bunch of stuff up there that people are going to be like, that's whack. So Shay's been able to help me. She helped with the Magna beanies, which I think were awesome, and she did it. So she's winning me over more and more with merch. But it's also good to have somebody that knows what in the world they're doing.
I think I added the tiger one on because I really dug it. Like, I thought that was a really awesome shirt.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing, just kind of the symbolism on the shirts, and you'll enjoy it, and then kind of how it relates to the books. The shirts are awesome. Kind of the way we weave that into the books, I think it's a lot of fun. So I just like everybody else that's creating, I feel like we're trying to swing for the fences every single solitary time. There's really no bunting. We're trying to go yard every time, and then you want to do it again. So we're just trying to put our best foot forward with every volume. And the beautiful thing is, people expect it. I like that. People are like, hey, I like what you're doing. Let's take it to the next level. So Rod and I, that's exactly how we're operating. Let's take it to the next level. So with Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the production is done. We're about 10 pages shy of completing the next 88-page volume of Black Tiger. And I promise you, it just gets better and rowdier. It just gets more and more fun because like the foundation has been laid, so it really allows us, once the world is constructed and the world, it just allows us to run. And that's what we're doing. We're just running.
Right on, man. I can dig it. I can dig it. I like it. Let's keep doing it,
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
We've been going almost an hour, and I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I really appreciate you coming on and telling us about Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and answering some questions that I may have had as a consumer when I was backing it.
Yeah.
I really I dig the art. The art, man, is just, it's right on. Like, I tell everybody in this chat right now, if you've not backed this, you will regret it if you don't. Like, go get this book. Go back, John. Like,
at the end of the day, Rod's art is what brings people to the book.
Yeah.
And I know if people don't stay, it's on me. The story will get you to come back, and that's the plan. But at the end of it's just like any book. You can see a book that's well written, but if the art sucks, you don't want to hang out there. You're like, man, this art is just driving me nuts. I can't do it.
Right.
I can't do it. So you got to have. It's a visual medium. Art is number one. And then, the story is such that I believe people are going to want to come back and continue down this road with her.
I think it's a really awesome concept, and I cannot wait to get this book in my hand. I cannot wait.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me on. This is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And thank you to the chat, everyone that showed up in the chat. We appreciate you. If you're watching this on replay, please go back, John. He's on Twitter as at Beyond Time, which I will have in the description when I get done with this. And then go back him on Indiegogo, man. Just like show some love to these projects that are, putting all this love and passion into what they're doing. And, they're making something better. They're making something great so that we can, have our mediums back. Let's take our hobbies back. Right.
Say that. That's the truth. We our you know, this stuff that we love got hijacked. But
Yes.
you know, let's take it back.
Wolverine says, all the love to John and Lola. Thank you, Wolverine.
Thanks,
we love
Wolvo.
you too,
Appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it.
Bye,
Much love, man.
everybody.
Much love. Peace.